Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Living for Today, and I am Mike, your host. And first, I'd like to apologize to all of you because I haven't been keeping up with the videos lately. I've got a new puppy that it has very special needs. Um, we named him Fudgy. I'm sure you guys have seen him on my other channel. And he takes a lot of extra care, and it's eating up a lot of my time. So I really don't have time to do a lot of research and to make the videos. So again, I apologize for that. But today I got a story for you. This one is out of the 1890s. It begins, but trust me, it's a very good story. Now this is mid 1890s, and this guy is 18 years old. Is by all accounts is an adult grown man. He has a job and is living a good life, hanging out with his friends, doing the things that teenagers of his time did. One night, after hanging out with his friends, they all split up and go their own way, and he begins to walk home. And during this walk home, he sees a girl that he has seen around before, so he knows of her, but doesn't really know her. But being one of the more popular guys in the area, he figures he'll play on his popularity, go over to her, talk to her, and he'll have somebody to walk and talk with for a while. And he does exactly that. And he walks and talks with her, and to her amazement, she can't believe that, an older popular guy is talking to her, given that he's 18 years old, pretty much a grown man at the time, in his time. And this girl is 13, 14, maybe 12. I remember she was very young. She was either 12, 13, at the most 14. So he's walking with her, and at some point he decides to do something awful. And takes her off to the side, cons her into taking this little shortcut with him, and tells her, this is a quicker way. I'm going to show you. Only the popular kids know about it because we come and hang out back here. We don't let other people through here. And she believes him and is just in awe, will believe anything because she's with this older popular guy. And as far as she's concerned, this guy likes her, so she wants to look good in front of him. So she follows with him, and eventually he takes her to an old, rundown, decrepit barn that had been left there, hardly standing for many, many, many years. And he assaulted this girl very, very badly. He left her for dead and beat her within an inch of her life. This girl was extremely lucky to have gotten out alive. She was beaten bloody, couldn't move on her own. It just so happened some people that were hiking through happened to find that barn and just happened to look inside. They didn't hear her or anything, just happened to look inside and found her laying there. She eventually told her story, and this man was caught, and this 18-year-old kid who had just done this horrible thing was sentenced to 30 years. Now, this girl, over the course of time, grew into a woman and eventually got over it as far as you can get over something like that. Well, this man rotted in prison and was doing his 30 years plus a couple more that were tacked on over time for, just things that went on while he was in prison. So fast forward to the early 1930s, and this man gets out of prison, and now this woman that was a little girl is now a grown woman with her own life, has, her own children, and is doing her own thing, and this man is just getting out of prison. And when he gets out, he has no one. Everyone that at one point did care about him was either dead or just over the course of 30 plus years forgot he was even alive. So when he got out, he was on his own. And for the most part, he did okay. He started, staying in a bunkhouse and he worked his way up to getting his own, little apartment, and got himself a job. And by all accounts, he was doing okay for himself. He wasn't doing great, but he was doing as well as he could do for himself. He's going out when he has time, and he's trying to meet women. He's going to bars and doing everything he can to meet women, but he's extremely awkward around women, being the only time he had ever been physical with a woman. It got him put in prison, so he doesn't know how to talk to women. He doesn't know how to approach women, and this is definitely clear and noticeable, so he's not really getting much notice. He's just kind of that awkward barfly that hangs out on the wall. Who just stands there staring around all night, has his drinks, and walks out. Again, no one ever takes any real notice from him, so he ends up going home alone every night. But he doesn't stop trying, and he does this for months and months and months, and he just gets nowhere. And eventually he gets fed up, but he says to himself, I'm not going back to prison. There is absolutely no chance I'm going back to prison. So he goes on, and he still is going to this bar every weekend, and he teaches himself, he forces himself to start approaching women and trying to make conversation. And he actually starts making conversations, but again, he's very socially awkward and doesn't know how to talk to women, and that is proving itself. So again, it gets him nowhere, and one night he decides he just can't take it anymore. When he's leaving the bar, he sees a woman who's leaving, and he follows her, and he grabs her and takes her up an alley and physically assaults this woman. And this time he decides he is not going to prison, he is not leaving a witness, and he beats this woman to death. Well, someone happened to see what was going on, and it was already too late by the time they had seen it. They just kind of seen him in passing run off, and hadn't really noticed so much that it was him, because they didn't see so much his face as just saw him running off. Well, this guy continued to go to this bar, and that's what got him caught. Every weekend he still kept showing up, and police were showing up and asking questions, and everybody pointed the finger at him. He left, 2 seconds behind her. So he ends up getting caught, getting arrested, and going to trial. And he is eventually goes to court, and he has his lawyer, and he has the prosecuting attorney on the other side. And he stands up in court pleading and begging for mercy. He's crying, saying it was a complete accident. Anything he can to get mercy. And then it's time for the prosecuting attorney to stand up. And who is that prosecuting attorney? But the woman that he had assaulted all those years ago when he was sentenced to prison the first time. Well, this time the man was sentenced. He was found guilty, and when he was sentenced to 60 years. The man died in prison in, I believe, the 50s of cirrhosis. I believe he deserved every second of that sentence he got, and probably didn't deserve to get out in the first place. You tell me how you feel about this story. If you think he deserved to be free, then hit the thumbs down. If you think he deserved every second that he spent in prison, and maybe even more, hit that thumbs up. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope to see you again next time.